Good morning and welcome to our instructor meeting. Glad to have you all here. And today we're going to go over some important information for you, not only about some upcoming changes we're going to have with Blue Card, some upgrades we're having, but also Josh is going to give us an update that we went over at the conference about what is going on with Blue Card right now and giving you some information about where we are going in the future. So after this meeting, everyone should get a link sent to them. So you have this on video. Following that, we'll also put it up on our YouTube channel. So if you're not on our YouTube channel right now, we recommend that you get on our YouTube channel because we have a lot of training and other information there for you. So without further ado, I'll turn this over to Josh, who has a bit of a presentation for us this morning, and I'll get back on with your questions and comments. So over in the post a comment box, if you've got a question for Josh or myself during this, just go ahead and put it there, and then I'll put it up during our webinar. So over to you, Josh.
Thanks, John. Yeah, thanks everybody for getting on to here, and everybody hopefully sees this, after it's recorded and available. So we're excited with a lot of things that are going on, bringing the conference back this year. I think we ended up with like 550 plus folks there. We're planning on doubling that next year with, like 30 or so presenters. So that registration's already available, and we can, talk more about that if anybody's got any questions, or you can reach out to us anytime. So we'll open up this presentation and then we'll go from there. So the biggest thing we want to get out to everybody, and we've been talking about it for about a week now, is we're switching over to a new platform. So the entire online program, all of the CE, instructor material, anything you go to right now, it has been moved over to a whole new platform. So with that, it's going to have a bit of a new look. Accessibility is going to be better. Our ability to produce new material and push out new material is going to be better for us, better for you. With that said, we'll talk a little bit more about what the outage actually means when we get a little bit further into this. So a big launching point, I think, for a lot of this was Blue Card's been around for 15 years, but since 1958, we've been talking about the 8 functions of command, or not we, but the chief was talking about the 8 functions of command, and what does that really mean and look like, and what does it do for our industry? And what we've really done is continue to use review, evaluate, revise, and just try to make it better to carry on that message and refine the system. So in September 2021, the AVB CTC opened, and I think that got a lot of us thinking about what else can we do, what else should we be doing, getting a lot of input from all of the users that are out there of how do we make this better, how do we connect with the end user better, what does it look like into the future. So just like anything, I think 15 years ago, Blue Card, the platform, fantastic, and all the material I think is still good, but it just needs, it needs refined, right? It's in its, I don't know, 6th or 7th version, but just a new look and make it a little bit easier, more friendly, whatever. So the AVB CTC, if you haven't seen it, we would love for people to get there at some point. The back of it is really just all about the fire chief, right? About Chief Brunacini and some of his little one-lines there. That's what that is. Just a little picture of our classroom there. It holds 40 or so people. So when we do workshops and so on there. Nick Brunacini's project, the Hall of Helmets. I don't know. I think there's probably a couple hundred helmets now been sent in. So Blue Card fire departments are sending their helmets in. And I think that's a powerful thing in that open foyer hallway, because I'm not crazy, but, well, some people say I'm crazy, but I think it's powerful because it's almost like those helmets like speak volumes of what is going on and what has happened, and what these organizations, what you all put back into this system and what you put back into the fire service. That center picture there with the green wall, that's where Vance is right now. So he's in Phoenix at our office at the AVB CTC. We got our own podcast studio there. That's Vance's podcast studio, but it's more than that. So we're going back into full video production mode, hence the father name, if you will, of Blue Card, Across the Street Productions. So you're going to see a whole lot more production stuff coming out from us, training videos, other podcast stuff, video podcast stuff we post on YouTube, really to help all of you. Obviously, the Chiefs Mac there, right? The center of the first floor there, that it's almost like a museum, and then the Chiefs turnout gear from when he was first on the Phoenix Fire Department. So the first floor is almost like a little bit of a museum. But anytime that I'm there, I leave with 100 more things on my mind of what we need to do or could do or should do. So I didn't want to have this meeting without talking about that and bringing that up. And really, this is some of the stuff that Nick talked about at the conference. So you may have seen some of this there. So the website. So on Friday, this coming Friday, in the evening, so just plan on by 3 p.m. Eastern time that the current B-Shifter website is going to be down with an outage. So that outage is just while we flip the switch to switch everything to our new platform. So with that said, it's going to have a bit of a different look. The performance of the system, it's going to work faster. It works in the cloud. Quite honestly, we have to, at any given point, we have to be able to really have like 100,000 people. If 100,000 people got onto the system at the same time, we need to be able to make sure 100,000 people are moving forward and can use the system, and it's not slowing down and they're not having issues. So that's part of this whole new platform functionality, as far as when it comes to what the end user does and what it looks like for them and how they navigate. It's going to be, I think, a lot better. So when we turn it back on, our intention is on Monday morning when you wake up that it's going to be turned back on. It is going to say under construction, like so many websites do, but when we do turn it back on, no student will have lost any progress. So whether they were doing the online module, when they get back on Monday, they will have lost no progress. If you were doing a CE module, you will have lost no progress. And if you're an instructor and you created an event, your events are going to be there. And so anything that we've done in the past and anything that somebody's doing that is current will be accessible and live, and they will have not lost progress. So that was a big, question for us, that we couldn't flip a switch and then have people lose like a whole module or, whatever. So it has to be almost seamless, if you will, that we turn off one thing, we turn the other one on, and you just pick right back up where you left off. So with that said, it's going to say under construction. The download center is going to be available. Instructors are going to be able to create events. Instructors are going to be able to monitor performance of students. Everything you can do now, you're going to be able to do. It is going to look a little bit different. And then over the next probably 6 to 8 weeks, it's going to continue to evolve a little bit more. So one thing comes down to, we had to turn it back. We have to flip the switch and turn this new system back on and have people actually using the system so that we can make sure that it does what we want it to do, and it does what, most importantly, what you want it to do. So another piece of this new system and new platform is what does the end user want, and how can we make it work best for the end user. So that's really our little piece, if you will, on this outage. Again, we're going to turn it off on Friday, and our intention right now is by Monday morning that it's going to be back fully functional. You can stay tuned to the Twitter, AOL, or Facebook, all of those things, email, all of those things that you stay connected to us with, and we'll keep people updated on what's going on with the outage, if anything changes with it. So moving on from that, we've had to make some changes, right, with the platform and all of that, because we have over 3,000 fire departments that are doing Blue Card in some form or fashion. 56,000 current Blue Card certified ICs, and we're well over, I think, 70 something thousand now that have been on the system at one point or another over the last 15 years. And when you really start talking about what does that number really mean, I tell people all the time, I think last week when I read it, there was 341,000 IAFF members in the United States. Well, 56,000 people are doing Blue Card. So, when I start comparing it to other things that fire service people are related to, linked to, and do, there's a lot of organizations out there doing Blue Card. There's a lot of organizations that are continuing to provide professional development training, specifically when it comes to risk management and command and decision making, using Blue Card. Blue Card's delivered 123 trainer classes since 2021. I've been working the last few days on the 2023 schedule, and it looks like we're probably going to deliver about 55 or so trainers in 2024. So those numbers just keeps on going up. So with that said, anybody who's on here, if you're looking for us to do something with you next year as far as a trainer or a workshop, the sooner you reach out, the more flexibility we'll probably have with scheduling the dates that you may want. We continue to work with ACE on getting college credit for the IC certification, the instructor license, and then the hazmat IC certification. The dispatcher module got added in 2022. That continues to be pretty popular. Organizations that go through that see a pretty significant impact right away on how dispatchers engage with the fire department on the on the fire ground, really. So what role do they play in communicating? So we got some audio sent to us just recently from an organization where a mayday happened, and in the past the dispatch would never say a word, and in this case the IC missed the mayday, and dispatch came back and said, did you hear the mayday? I'm transmitting your second alarm. Let me know if you need anything else. So it was we actually told a dispatcher what we wanted them to do, or what we would expect, or what something means. And in that case, it was a very positive impact on the overall event. So we're currently working on completing the ARF module. It's been in progress for quite a while. I didn't realize how far apart so many different facilities are that provide ARF operations, whether it's a international airport or a military installation or whatever. But a lot of people doing things different, which I guess I thought it was more standardized, but it's really no different than the fire department. They all do things, a bit different. So trying to make that system fit for all those organizations, whether it's an international airport or the military installations. We delivered 29 workshops. We continue to grow that. The big box workshop obviously is very popular. We've partnered with the National Fire Sprinkler Association on the 2-day big box workshop. Shane Ray always comes and speaks at that, and through our partnership, we're expanding some of the CEs that we're going to deliver. So we're revamping the big box tactical template a bit, and the other piece of it is through collaboration and partnership with NFSA, we're going to build a few different CE modules when it comes to managing sprinkler systems. What's the difference between a sprinkler system and a big box, a multifamily, a single family residential building? What does that really mean? What should the fire department know? What should they look for? So just that'll be coming out. And then if you've looked in 2024, I think it's in March, we're offering a new workshop that came at request of some organizations basically wanting some more explanation, support on the strategic decision-making model. How does it really apply to all these different building types? So the class is critical thinking and application of the strategic decision-making model. And during those 2 days, they talk about all different types of building types, all kinds of different critical factors that you may encounter on the fire ground, and really trying to create thinking firefighters, thinking company officers beyond what we're doing with just the Blue Card system, giving them a foundation and platform. So really that program's about the decision-making piece, no different than we've expanded the big box thing, right? It's the next step, the tactical boss class. It's kind of the next step beyond the standard platform blue card certification. And then obviously the Mayday operations, the why behind everything we do with the blue card certification program. So the CE system, we continue to roll out new CEs. So what you're going to see in the coming in 2024 with the new platform is some of those are going to be revamped. We're going to be releasing some new CE modules. We got a group of people that are working on there's going to be 31 new CE modules just related to TRT events. So it's not for the technical rescue technician or specialist or the person that's on a FEMA team or the person that rides a heavy rescue or a squad or whatever. It's for the first due engine company officer decision making and the strategic IC that maybe they aren't as familiar with TRT events. So everything from swift water, ice rescue. We're going to have some helicopter stuff, mountain rescue, basic rope rescue, trench, entrapments, you name it. We're going to kind of have it there. So every one of those CEs that come out are going to have an SOG tied to them. So that's just another thing that we're going to be able to do, having a new platform where we have the ability to produce material and curriculum and roll it out a little bit easier than we were able to in the past. So the Instructor Resource Center, when you log in next week, it's going to look a bit different. So something that you all have been asking for a long time is I just want everything for a 3-day cert lab in one folder. So we've done that. And then we've organized a whole lot of that other material just to make it easier for you all to navigate it. So when you go to PowerPoints, there's not PowerPoints, PDFs, Word documents, and all this stuff intermingled together. It's all organized much better than it is currently. And that's going to be a work in progress. We're going to continue to refine that, and some of those things in there will get retooled, if you will, to be a little bit more current based off of things that you all have given us feedback and so on. So the blue card update for 2024. So Jeff King, when he gets the ARF module wrapped up, his next big project is we're going to take the entire online blue card program and it's going to get retooled. So we've been over the last few years trying to get more and more blue card user photos, videos, talking heads into the system. And we're at a point now where it's just time for us to leave it run as it is, but we're going to give focus in redoing the entire online program. So the entire online program is going to line up much better. Well, not much better. It's going to line up 100% with the third edition of Fire Command, and we'll talk about that here shortly. Third edition of Fire Command is finished, and it's going to be coming out within the next 3 or 4 months in print. And then just the growing demand that we've seen for the safety workshop. So at the conference last week, I think a couple hundred people went through just the demonstration of the safety class. So fire dynamics, trying to connect the dots for people on fire science. What does it really mean? What does it really look like? What are all the different flow paths? Doing some tech training with it. So with that said, we continue to evolve that program. We've enhanced that prop a little bit. We got a center hallway piece that goes with it. So we continue to grow the program based off of feedback that we get from you all. So this leadership piece, so Nick and Terry Garrison have been working for, I don't know, the last 2 years, I would say now, on this whole leadership piece. So one thing that I think is very valuable and critical, and I think we've lost some of it, is the customer service book was out of print. So recently, within the last 6 weeks, we started printing the customer service book again, and I think it's also potentially going to be available electronically, but either way, it is going to definitely be available in hard print. So with that said, I think we connect that back to a workshop at some point. So what does that customer service really look like? And we all know that if we don't provide customer service internally in our organization, then we're definitely not going to provide customer service out there in the street. And customer service doesn't have to mean I'm cutting somebody's grass for them because we're taking them to the hospital, but just the service that we deliver every single day to every organization. And then what does that really look like for all of the leaders, providing that service and support to all of our workers that provide the service out in the street. And John Vance and I talk about this a lot. If we don't take care of ourselves, our people are not going to take care of our customers. So I think it's really important that we re-engage with that, and we are going to re-engage with that. So Nick and Terry have been doing a lot of work on this whole leadership piece. So when you tie the customer service, anatomy and physiology book, the no-brainer management that the chief had all but published, basically. I mean, it was all written out, and if you're familiar with a lot of the things that he did, it was, paper and pencil, and everything's there. It just needed to be put together and graphics put to it, and our editor Michelle Garrido putting the final gold stamp on it to put it to print. So that's just another piece of it. And when you put all of those together, it comes down to the Silverback leadership. So some of you were at the conference and heard Terry and Nick talking about the Silverback leadership piece. So it's all about the leadership, right? How do we take care of everybody inside of our organization so that we deliver service to the customer on the outside? Because really, that's what it's all about, right? Us delivering service to the customer. And if we can't take care of ourselves, we surely can't take care of them. So we're really looking forward to that program coming out. It is going to come out in some pieces because we don't want to sit on something for a year while it's under development. So while it's under development, you're going to start seeing 20 or 30 minute little CE pieces coming out for full access fire departments. That here's a piece on sexual harassment. Here's a little piece on managing some kind of discipline problem in your firehouse. So all the things really that when you tie all those books together that make sense, and it's going to be on the new platform in a way I think that connects with all of us in the fire service today, and all of the folks that we have that are coming on that we want to nourish and develop to become good leaders. So we're really looking forward to that program launching. So the B-Shifter magazine, so John Vance can jump on here and talk a little bit more about this, but the B-Shifter magazine's been in print for, I think, 12, maybe 13 years, and it was coming out every quarter. And recently we jumped in with both feet, and John Vance gets tired of me saying this, but I always say we aren't going to start something that we can't stay on top of and keep doing. And I think when we started the Buck Slip, we talked about it, and it was like we didn't know everything that it was going to involve, but we're well into it now, and we got a plan. So John, you want to talk a little bit about what we're doing with that and what the future looks like with the Buck Slip?
Hopefully everyone has access to the Buck Slip, and if you don't, please drop me a line and let me know, and I can figure out why you're not getting it. Currently, it comes through a third-party distribution platform, and a lot of times that gets caught up in junk mail. So occasionally people aren't getting it because it's going to some kind of spam or junk mail folder. But every Tuesday morning, we put the Buck Slip out, and it's the latest news for fire service leaders and incident commanders. And we want it to be very specialized for that. So whether you're a chief or you're somebody riding the right front seat and you're going to be IC number one, we want to have information and news in there for those people. If right now it currently goes to around 29,000 people a week. And we've had things like we did a series on SOGs. So we put out 8 blue card SOGs that you could download as a Word file and then customize for your department. And we want to continue adding resources and value to everyone who's a blue card subscriber, so you're getting that all of the time. So all of your folks in your fire department should be getting it. I know a number unsubscribe, so we've had probably every month a handful of people unsubscribe to it because they're just not interested in it. But so you might have people in your organization that you think is getting it, but they may not be getting it because they have unsubscribed. We are looking forward to next year, along with the new website. It's going to be a streamlined delivery of the Buck Slip. But our intention is every week to put out information and news for all of you when it comes to incident command and leadership topics. Then what we'll do is collect, and maybe we're thinking about once a year, and a lot of this is feedback from all of you. So if you desire to get something in print, we'll do a best of the buck slip and then put out a B shifter magazine perhaps annually. But any suggestions you have for it, any topic ideas, if you write up something, as Josh said toward the top of this meeting, we are always looking for incident audio. We're looking for incident pictures, good examples of success stories with Blue Card or other things within your department. Please share those so we can share them with the rest of our community, because you guys know, like at the conference, we're all in this together, and we certainly can learn a lot from each other. So we want to be able to share within our B Shifter community all this good stuff all the departments out there are doing. So please feel free to contact me and drop a line at any time if you either have a question, comment, or an idea for us as we go forward with the B Shifter Buck Slip every Tuesday morning.
Thanks, John. So books, I'd already mentioned that the customer service book is back in print, and I think within the next 3 or 4 weeks we should have them, and they'll be available in the B Shifter store, and you'll be able to get those. So the 3rd edition of Fire Command, it's been 3 years, maybe 4 years that we've been working on the 3rd edition of Fire Command, making sure that it lines up with best practice, everything that we do with the Blue Card certification program, critical thinking, decision making, all of that. So one thing with the 3rd edition is the 8 functions of command, or the 8 functions of command. You are going to see a couple new chapters in there. So there's an entire safety chapter in the 3rd edition. There's a bit more on expanded command ops. So what does that really look like when you start pushing division bosses forward, and how do you manage that? What does that really look like? And then a bit more information on the command van piece, if you got to that, or if you're going to put a couple of SUVs together, or even if you just got 3 people in a pickup truck and you're going to have a senior advisor and a support officer, or whatever that looks like. So there's a piece on that, and then there's a chapter on Mayday management. So it really ties everything together that we've been doing, and the book is going to line up with and be reference to what we will see in 2024 as the new online modules for Blue Card, and really the 3rd edition lines up with everything that we're doing now. So the 2nd edition came out in 2001, maybe somewhere around there, 2000 I think it was. And then the Brett Tarver incident, right? So we're all familiar with the Command Safety book. So Command Safety came out kind of as an answer to some of the things that were learned after the Brett Tarver incident. It was like 2005. So this 2023, 2024 Fire Command is tying together the 2nd edition of Fire Command, Command Safety, and then everything else that we've updated, learned, or figured out to be best practice since Command Safety came out. And then the cool command there next to it. So that was something, again, that Bruno was well on the road to having a book on cool command. So what does that really mean, and how do we manage stress? And we see so many things out there now about how does stress impact our entire life, but how does stress impact our ability to think and critical thinking. So when you tie all of this together, they all are going to support, again, the platform of Blue Card, but they're all going to be their own standalone books that are going to be in print. So again, the customer service book will be out very soon. Fire Command, we're definitely thinking we will have in print by the first quarter of 2024, and then I think Cool Command is finished. It's just a matter of getting it refined a little bit, and the editor, I think, putting the graphics to it and pushing it out. So I think some really good pieces there that support what all of us do with the Blue Card program. John, you again, social media. So everything we're doing with the social media and what's available, and trying to take advantage of everything that's out there. And I don't consider myself old in any way, shape, or form, but it's hard to keep up with social media stuff sometimes for me. So what do you got on update on that, John?
Well, currently we're on Twitter, or the X platform, as Elon has renamed it. And we put out information on there daily. So if you're not following us there, the handle is Blue Card HZ on the Twitter platform. We're also on Facebook. We're on YouTube and Instagram. So you can follow us on all of those. We put out information daily. And then our YouTube channel, we currently have, if you go to B Shifter on YouTube, just do a search on YouTube, things like this video following today will post up on YouTube. So if you have instructors within your organization, or you network with other instructors that maybe missed this meeting, it's a way for them to catch up. We were in Minnesota last month doing some burns with the National Fire Sprinkler Association and local fire departments in the Minneapolis area. And we had a lot of great video from inside a big box structure that had a fire that was controlled by sprinklers. So we immediately were posting videos up there because we were very excited by the result and what we were seeing, and we wanted to be able to share it with you immediately. So when we are having events like that, or occasions like that, where we have some information that we want to get out to the all of the Blue Card users and instructors, we're going to do that on our YouTube channel and all of our social media channels that we have. And then don't forget the B Shifter podcast. It is available on Apple and various other platforms out there, including Alexa and Spotify. Just do a search for B Shifter. Once again, the B Shifter podcast comes out at a minimum twice a month, and we do everything from reviewing audio from incidents to also talking about leadership topics. So it's just like the buck slip, aimed towards leadership within the fire department. So we're talking about issues, whether you're an up and coming officer or a chief officer, that you're going to be interested in when it comes to leading your fire department. So give us a listen. We're already at over 100,000 listens. I think as of today, 110,000 listens. People all over the world listening to that B Shifter podcast. So again, if you have topic ideas or something you'd like us to cover on there, please let us know, as we get a lot of questions from you, and we try to address those questions on the B Shifter podcast.
John, so on the new platform, we're going to have a place, right, that social media where people could see like archived or other things that have been released without having to search?
That's right. You know, we really wanted to have our own type of platform, our own community, again, like I said. So when we do this upgrade, and the things that you're going to start to see at the end of this year and beginning of next year, is really more of a blog area, or an area that you're just going to be able to go through bshifter.com and check that out. So, it's going to be easier to access. You're not going to have to go through a third party. If you're on B Shifter, you're going to be able to see everything, and also search for old articles, old posts, videos, everything else that we put up there just on the B Shifter website. So we are very excited about that.
Great. So a couple things that, as John was talking there, and I was looking at my notes. So a couple of very important things that I want to mention and make sure that everybody knows is coming out and going to be available very soon. So we had revamped all of the preloads for the 5 buildings that you use for doing a certification lab, and that wasn't that big of a deal. But when we started doing the preloads for every single one of the simulations, it took a little bit longer than we thought it was going to take. So you're going to see by January, you will see that there's a new preload for every single simulation that exists. So we wanted to get back to Blue Card being about decision making and the 8 functions of command, and using the strategic decision making model, because far too often we hear people say basically their sales gimmick to their firemen was, it's just a communications program, just do it. And communications is just one of the command functions, right? So, I mean, it's 1/8 maybe of the program. Communications is just where we act out all those other 7 functions. So the preloads, if you've looked at the 5 preloads that exist right now for the 5 buildings that we use for a cert lab, all the new preloads are going to look just like that. So it takes you down that path of having that conversation for decision making so that it fits all fire departments instead of us creating robots, right? I don't want robots. I want people that can think and that can really work in the gray area of what's going on, evaluate critical fire ground factors, take the best approach based on best practice, and work through and solve the problem, which really just comes down to for standard conditions, we take a standard outcome to get, or standard action to get a standard outcome. So that's one of the things that I'd missed there. And then Eric Phillips and a few other folks have been working on our after action reporting program. So at the conference, we had about 200 or so people that sat through that presentation. We got, I don't know, probably 200 responses. When is this thing getting turned on? How can I get to it right now? It's a missing component, I think, in most organizations. I mean, we all do some kind of after action, and most of the time it comes down to how long did you wait and how much can I make it my own story. So we're building a platform that's going to be available to all full access Blue Card organizations. It will be out by the first quarter of 2024. If you want more information on that or what we're doing with it, you can email me, josh@bshifter.com, and I'd be more than happy to have some correspondence with you of what it really looks like and what we're going to do with it. We're looking forward to it because we know to make change, we have to be willing to have that conversation, right? So no different than when you're putting somebody through the certification lab. If they miss something, we need to talk about it. Just to remind them of, hey, you didn't say this, or you didn't say that, or you're not using the order model, or make sure you give a task location and objective. So the platform is going to be a tool where you can upload your audio, your video, go through and grade it, if you will, kind of on a color coded piece of green is really good, yellow needs work, and red we have a problem that we need to address kind of right now, and then tie a score to it so that we can talk about continuous improvement in our organization. And then it can be shared across, with other Blue Card users should your agency choose to do that, so that we can all learn from other people's mistakes. Before I jumped on here, I was just reading about another local incident with the gas lines, the CSST line, right? So in this case, the fire department had paid attention to what was going on in other places, and they did end up realizing what had happened. Some of it happened by accident. They shut the gas off on their 360, which was really good, which is what probably saved some people from falling through the floor because it wasn't no longer a gas-fed fire. But my whole point of that being, we have to learn from other people's experiences and mistakes. So reinforcing good behavior and correcting bad behavior, if you will. So we're really excited and looking forward to launching that. And we have, a half a dozen fire departments that have been using the first version of it, just trying to test it. Like, it has to be user friendly. It can't take a ton of time to do it. Really, the person who is being evaluated can go on there and evaluate themselves, which always makes it easier as far as having that discussion. So that's just another piece that we're going to be able to do because of the new platform and where we're headed and what we're doing. So at Blue Card in the B Shifter office, our headlights are shining very bright, and I think we see where we're going, and we want you to all keep giving us feedback and information on what you need us to do to continue to support you.
All right, Josh, we have time for a couple of questions today. Again, if you have a question, you can put it into the comment box and we'll try to get to it this morning. First question comes from Larry. Have you considered an awareness class to deliver to newer members? He's asking about an awareness class. Josh, what do we have available on that?
Yeah, so that responder module that's available right now is going to be revamped. And our intention with that is to make it for the firefighter. So what's important to the firefighter? So they need to understand some of the things that are going on in the fire ground. They need to understand priority traffic. They need to understand how to communicate on the radio. So when that module right now, there's a lot of organizations that use that module for what you're asking, but we know that it needs to be revamped, and that's another part of it. So as Blue Card Online is getting revamped, we're going to revamp that also. we've had some conversation with plenty of organizations that think that piece fits what is needed for like Firefighter 2 1001 standard for fire department communications and decision making when it comes to that certification for your initial firefighter cert. So I think there's a bunch of things that we could do with that. So that is on our radar. We have one right now, but it's on our radar to revamp that and make it fit much more. I think the firefighter role.
All right. A couple more questions. James, I owe you lunch, by the way. Workshop for the strategic decision-making model isn't on the calendar. What are the dates? When are we going to be able to get the dates for that? Or how are we delivering that right now, Josh?
So that class is going to be in Phoenix. It is, I think it's the third week of March. But so when the new platform is up next week, it will definitely be on there. And it's going to be 2 days. And it's really much more of a facilitated discussion workshop. I mean, we talk about these workshops, right? Input from the class. It's not a big presentation on, you're going to sit there for 2 days and listen to somebody talk about a PowerPoint slide.
All right.
So I don't have it right in front of me, the exact dates, but it will be on there. I'm not sure why it's not on there right now, but it'll be on there next week when the new platform launches, and the old platform will be coming down. It will be down Friday night.
So look for that. And things will be easier to find once we get that new platform up and fine-tuned. One more question from Jorge. How can we get the Florida Fire College to give CEUs for Blue Card? Do you know the process for that, Josh?
Yeah, so if you reach out to, I can help you. Just send me an email. But if you reach out to Cape Coral Fire Department, we've done a bunch of work with them, and they got a great connection right to the Florida Fire College. So I know that they're giving CEUs for certification. I know they're giving CEUs for train the trainer. And I believe that Cape Coral has worked it out that you get CEUs when you do other Blue Card training, as long as it's being delivered, obviously, as it should be, by a Blue Card certified instructor. So if you reach out to me, send me an email, I can put you in contact with the folks that have been working on that. We also got Pasco County. I think they were the first ones that had done something with Florida Fire College to get that credit. So the classes already exist. It's probably just a matter of if we have to create other class numbers in their system so that people get that credit.
All right, that's all the time we have for questions. We really appreciate everyone getting on today. We've had a good group. This video will be available after we're done. You'll get an email from us saying that the video is now available, and we'll also put it on the YouTube channel. Is there any last thoughts from you, Josh, before we wrap it up today?
No, thank you all for getting on. Just make sure you share this with anybody else that's a Blue Card instructor, and really, you can share that link with all of your Blue Card folks so that they know what's going on, and make sure you can revisit this if you got any questions about what we talked about. Otherwise,
all right.
Just thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for your time today. We'll continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on. Again, get on the social media streams. We'll also send out a bulletin to everyone once the platform is back up and B-Shifter is back live next week. So thank you very much for joining us today. We want you all to be safe, and we'll talk to you very soon.